non-functioning governing councils, and non-payment of withheld salaries, among others, in the university system. The national president of SSANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, made this position known at the 47th regular National Executive Council meeting of the association held at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Futa. Ayodeji Morade reports.
Strong victory.
It is the 47th Executive Council meeting of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SSANU. The meeting gave members of the association opportunity to assess issues of national interest and those affecting welfare of members.
One of the 5 universities of technology, even though one of them have exited.
At the meeting, the national president of SSANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, frowned at non-payment of withheld salaries despite the directive by President Bola Tinubu. He wondered why withheld salaries of SSANU members are yet to be paid when workers in the teaching line have received theirs. Ibrahim also lamented the poor funding of universities and high cost of food items in the country.
It's no longer news that Nigeria today is passing through one of the most difficult times in its history. The only remedy is pay us. The only remedy, give us our money. And this I have stated even before consulting you.
The Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Futa, Professor Adenike Oladiji, urged members of the union to be alive to their responsibilities.
So the focus of the labor union generally is for members, for the welfare of its members. And this is universal for all forms of unionism. It is a truism that only a happy employee can deliver their best to their organizations.
Other leaders of SSANU urged governors to adequately fund state-owned universities.
Universities are not properly funded, and that is because, in the first place, there is a poor understanding of what the university system represents. Some states see state universities or see the establishment of universities as political tools.
SSANU members want the federal government to address the issues raised here, most especially the non-payment of their withheld salaries, to avert industrial action. Ayodeji Morade, TVC News, Akure.
And for more on the withheld salaries, the national president, SSANU, Comrade Mohammed Haruna Ibrahim, joins me on the news at 7. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So you recently issued a weak ultimatum to the federal government to pay your withheld salaries or face industrial action. Has that now been attended to? Where are you in that conversation?
Well, as you may be aware, we are currently in Akure, specifically at the Federal University of Technology, Akure. The leadership of the union at the level of the National Executive Council is meeting today and tomorrow. And hopefully by tomorrow, when we do not hear it's unthinkable that you will have a group of workers working in an environment, furthering the cause of education in Nigeria. And then the president of the country will magnanimously, agree to waive, whatever sanctions the previous government draconianly, decided to do. And some workers or some foot soldiers of the government will decide to pay one segment of the staff and leave the others. So the non-payment of the non-teaching staff is clearly an injustice, and that we will not accept this. We will, by tomorrow, God willing, decide on the next line of action to take. And we are not, foreclosing any drastic position. If it means shutting down the universities, we may have to do that if that is the only thing that would make our leaders understand that they have left out some workers without paying them. As you are aware, we are populated as administrators, engineers, technicians, architects, lawyers, medical doctors, nurses, and we run the university engine generally. We do everything in the university minus the teaching of undergraduate and postgraduate, and therefore the universities cannot function without the non-teaching staff.
Comrade Ibrahim, I also remember that it was in 2021 where the federal government had paid, I think it was about 40 billion naira allowance to the federal universities. And then there was controversy about the, around the sharing formula. Other unions felt that ASU was getting the largest share of that 40 billion naira. Is there a sense that the federal government prioritizes the welfare of ASU members over other unions? And has that issue been raised with the relevant ministries?
Well, I think whatever that must have happened then was a misunderstanding of how the system works. There is no way somebody in Abuja will sit down and say, this is how things should be done in Akure or Lagos or Maiduguri. Universities have what is called governing councils, and then the management running such universities. If there are monies that are supposed to be given to members of staff or paid to members of staff, what government needs to do is to send such monies to the managements or councils of such universities. It is the university authority that knows who is where and who should get what. Whatever it is, if it gets to the university, the disbursement will be done in a very civilized and a way that nobody will be feel shortchanged or he or she is shortchanged. But when you sit down in Abuja and say, okay, I'm apportioning certain amount to this segment of staff and then giving these ones differently. It is only in Nigeria that you see government will say, I am paying money to an industrial union. You pay money to the employer, to the employers. Councils are the employers of all workers in the university. So we have lamented then and we complained, and the government did promise that whenever they will do again, they will not do that mistake again. And as we are expecting, the release of 50 billion naira, which is also what will cushion or pay for the allowances that we were supposed to have been paid in 2023 as it was contained in the budget. But nothing has been released so far.
All right, we'll continue to follow this development. You said your union leaders are in Akure and will take a decision in 24 hours. We'll follow that development and see how that will go. Thank you so much for talking to us. National President SSANU, Comrade Mohammed Haruna Ibrahim.